We're not live.
Oh, so I can't talk about Big Chungus anymore.
Big Chungus talk.
No more Big Chungus coming to Infinity Plus talk.
Can't let
Damn it.
everyone know that we're adding Big Chungus.
So sad.
Twitch, just work, please. Not fucking interested in this bullshit today. Oh, yeah. Get some music in here.
Still moved. Hello. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Peter Griffin's on the enemy team. This is just like that time when I died.
To work. Doubt it, but. No.
What did you just do? I said, what did you just do?
Nothing, no way. Auto beat.
Oh.
Tabs open. Confused about that. Yep. Alright, well, we're at the 6-minute started. Let's turn this music down a little bit. Alright. Oh, we can hide the gamepad tracker. Alrighty. Our last dev stream was on the 10th. Yep. Alrighty. Let's see here. Tracking, added tutorial voice clips, change fixes and character blueprints, got enemy. Alrighty. Excuse me, let's get started here. I like the music, but it's a little bit distracting. Stop the music. I want to have music, but it's distracting. I can't. How's it going, Azirio? How are you doing today? I dong? I don't know how you doing. How do you doing?
Dong's just fine.
I'm alright. Tired and annoyed, but I'm fine other than that. Alright, so I guess first thing we can go over before we go over any content, because there really isn't much in the way of content we can show today. Most of today is just going to be and talking and stuff. We are almost ready for release. Oh, excuse me. Like we're getting really close. I'm hoping to get it done within the next week or two, if we can hurry up about it. That is. But for the most part, the main things we were waiting for were getting some shield interactions done for enemies and getting some power parent code functioning. Swapped over from Knuckles onto the power parent, because originally whenever we was testing and designing and working all of Knuckles' combat code, all of that was being done inside of Knuckles' blueprint specifically instead of the power parent. So we had to migrate all of that code to the power parent. That way, create children of the power parent, they would have access to all that code without the need for copy pasting. But that is done. There's still some minor bugs with it that we're going to be patching out here soon, hopefully. But for the most part, that is actually done. All of Knuckles' code has been moved to the power parent. The code involving Knuckles' combat is now in its proper place and can be utilized for other children of the power parent to create. The shield code and the projectile code were the other things that we were waiting on. And for the most part, they're all also functional. There's still some bugs and issues we want to look at and try and fix up. But for the most part, that's also done. So in terms of functionality, we've pretty much gotten all the functionality we want into the project that we want done for this update. All that's really left is doing some patchwork and cleaning up assets that we're not ready to release yet. The asset cleaning part will only take about a day or two. Once the asset cleaning part is done, after that, it's just testing and patching. And once that's done, then we can get ready for a release. So hopefully, by this point in time, I've been ready for a release in the next week. Didn't hear what you said. Got it early. American Taco Bell ad. Basically all I was saying was we are just about to the point where we can get ready for a release. We've gotten all of Knuckles' code into the Power Parent where it belongs. That way making children of the Power Parent is easy. Or easier without the need for copying pasting code. The shield and the projectile code for enemies is functioning for the most part. I think there's still a couple of bugs here or there, but it's functioning for the most part. Oh, excuse me. So other than that, all that's really left is cleaning up old assets that we don't want released yet, and patching up any bugs and stuff that we've come across. So hopefully here soon, probably within the next day or so, I'm going to be probably begin removing assets, such as like old enemy blueprints, any non-functioning stage objects, any other things that we're not going to be ready to release. And there isn't really a whole lot. I know a little while ago, Reese actually went through and started filling up a folder. We have a folder down here like for unused. That's stuff that we're going to be removing before the update. There's a couple more things that we got to put in there. Say what?
I said
Still a couple more things we got to put in there, clean up a couple references, but here within the next day or two, I'm going to start removing that stuff, and then once that stuff is removed, we can pretty much get to the point where we can actually patch things up, because obviously we want to remove things first and then patch things, because if removing stuff causes issues, we want to be able to fix those issues. So we're going to remove those things and then fix up some stuff. There's still a couple of minor tweaks left that we got to do in the debug room, but once that is done, like I'm going to go through and make some adjustments to some enemies, balance them a little bit. We got to do one last thing with the hint rings, but other than that, the debug room will be finished and ready. So we are actually looking really, really good for a release here within the next week or so. I'm hoping before the end of May. Like once May is up, I hope we can, at the very least, it'd be nice to get it done by this week and like Friday or Saturday, but if we have to hold off until the 31st, then that's fine. In terms of functionality, or any
we
like
have
new
functionality.
Will it have silver or just speed, flight, and power? Silver will be in it. Silver is not going to be complete. We've discussed this before in the past. We did not get as much done as we wanted to with silver in this update. We wanted silver to be a lot more complete. We wanted silver to have a lot more functionality in him. We had a lot more ideas we wanted to do with silver, but we just didn't get around to doing them, unfortunately. But we're not going to drop those ideas. We're going to work on them in the next update. And silver is also complete enough. Like, he's close enough to what he was in like 06 with some minor improvements here and there. that he is good enough to release right now. So Silver will be in the update. A lot of functionality involved with Silver will be in the update, but Silver will not. We're not going to be done with Silver. There's still more stuff we're going to do with him. In terms of like the things, anything new that we have added since the last update, there's essentially like two things. We've really not been adding anything. Most of everything has been bug fixing and patching. First part, you probably heard me testing around with it. The gun beetles here. Originally, the only two enemies we had functioning were egg pawns and egg flappers. Those are the only two enemies we have functioning involving the new AI Blackboard tree stuff. Just a little while ago, I had ported in the gun beetle, and the gun beetle is almost functional. There's still some things involving its shooting code we got to get fixed up. But the gun beetles will hopefully be functional. And depending on how long that takes, I don't really think it'll take long at all, because once I get Emmanuel in to help me, I can actually get it done quickly. And we can hopefully also get the gun hunter in. Hopefully both the gun beetles and the gun hunter will be available for you guys for this update. At the very least, I want to get the gun beetles. If we don't end up getting the gun hunter, we'll still release the assets for them, obviously. So if you guys want the gun hunter and we don't end up getting it, you'll be able to make it yourself. Shouldn't be too difficult, but the only other functionality that we have really included since the last update are individual movement. Originally, how it used to work is this boolean right here. It used to be called isEnable master movement. We have changed it to be enable master AI. It's the gun hunter. This enemy. This is the gun hunter. They were in SA2 and in Sonic Generations. Not in Shadow the Hedgehog, which is a bit strange. They're essentially guns a version of the egg pawn, just larger and bulkier and slower. Yeah, what are the names? Well, there's Gun Hunter. This is technically a mono beetle, and this is a gun beetle. This is our own variant on the gun beetle. I call it the rapid fire. It essentially just shoots really, really fast. And then this is the Gun Hawk, which there's two variants of the Gun Hawk. This is the hover variant, and there's also a jet version. Like Plane Wings and Jet. This is called a Gun Rhino. This is just a skeletal mesh. This isn't actually an actor. Gun Rhinos come in 3 variants. Spikes on top, one with a gun, and one with an armor top. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The AI Master, what this basically does is this boolean tracks whether or not the enemies you have selected even use the new, call it the Bombarder Beetle. Whether or not the individual enemy you have selected can use the new AI Blackboard tree, which is this here, which dictates its like wandering logic, its attack logic, and stuff like that. That's what this boolean here does. If I turn it off, then the enemies are completely incapable of accessing any of that code. It'll just go like, oh, you don't have access to the AI code. We can't do anything. Like, and at that point in time, all you would have to do is say, hey, if you want enemies to have their own individual code separate from the Blackboard AI or whatever, you can put it inside of that, and that should override everything else, I suppose. There's also obviously the behavior tree that if you want to give enemies their own individual behavior tree, you can technically do that. So let's create a brand new tree. But that's been a feature since we've actually worked. We have a Boolean tracking for a flying enemy, which basically prevents enemies that are flying from moving around, because iTree cannot account for flying enemies. You have to have a different type of nav measure. There's also this extra Boolean that we did actually add called movement enabled. This prevents enemies from moving, period. If there's any code related to movement at all in the Blackboard tree, this Boolean tracks that and gates it. So whenever an enemy is wandering around, for example, like so, that enemy there is wandering around, all these other enemies are wandering around except for these two egg pawns of that egg hammer. That's because their movement is disabled. They are incapable of moving around. Also, whenever that enemy tracks me, like all these enemies have been alerted of my location, but this enemy is capable of actually walking up to my location. These enemies are not over there because that's technically related to movement stuff. It's not 100% functional because how attacking works. I'm still trying to get the attacking logic worked out because blueprinting on Blackboard, not more complex, but it's complex in a different manner than normal blueprinting is. Like, it's how it functions is slightly different, and it's annoying. I've been trying to get it working for the past hour and a half, and I worked on it the other day, and I've still not got it completely working. I've made progress. It is functioning more than it was last time I worked on it, but it's not done. Then obviously there's this here.
Oh my.
This guy does not function entirely as intended, obviously. He kind of rotates properly. But for some reason, the tracking is not. I'm not entirely sure why. This is a problem a manual would be able to fix, and he is here. Fix it. But he is not, so.
He is not indeed.
Once that gets fixed, and I think there's also that weird like stuttering issue. Once that, Daniel can probably go over that with me and we can figure that out. He's shooting out of his eyes. Yes, that is technically incorrect. It has to do with the starting location of the projectile location. Oh, so that is parented. The weapon mesh. Interesting. It's not being done here, so. Because that is a parent, can't be done. Huh. Because you can't. It's an inherited. Can't parent it to individual children. Interesting. I wonder if I could. That's there. Wow. Nope, still not. Well, we'll have to rework that. But that's why it's shooting out of its face. The only other thing currently is, again, all of Knuckles' code has been moved to the new power parent. The power parent, as well as other parents, now have a couple more pass-throughs from the master to the children. Away. Almost correct, but it's not correct. No close.
Wouldn't yet so far.
Let's see here. I know one other thing I actually did. Let's see. Let's swap over to Sonic. The dynamic camera blueprint. This one right here. If anyone has been keeping track of Infinity for a long while. You know about this. We created this a long while ago. One thing we didn't even do with it that we should have done a long while ago, I just never think of it, is changed it so that the homing attack code changes with it. So actually, let me open the speed parent real quick. Debug, compile. So you can see these the lines being drawn, like the pink, yellow, green, and magenta, white. All of that is the homing attack tracking code. That's the cone that the camera draws to dictate targets that it can hit. So as you can see, that is tracking that target right there. And if I ran all the way back over here, because it's set to center priority, whichever one is closest to the center is the one that gets prioritized. So technically that's in the cone. If there's multiple things in the cone, whichever one is closest to the centers will get prioritized. Obviously, that's nothing new. That's not new code at all. However, one thing that can be done with the homing tracking code is in 2D sections, the homing tracking code is told to track from Sonic's location rather than the camera's location. And essentially what we did is in specific camera sections like this, we turn that on, so now you can home attack things inside of a camera volume based on Sonic's forward vector instead of where the camera is facing. I don't know why we didn't do this earlier, especially since we set up the 2D home attack code. Like, it was super simple. We just say, hey, if camera volume, use the 2D tracking code rather than the basic tracking code. So now that's functional. That's being done by default now. Oh, come on. So it turns to an arrow in 2D. No, it doesn't turn into an arrow. Technically, it's still there. It's still a cone. It's just the cone is tightened. Like, there are a couple of variables you can pass through here, like the vertical angle, how much it, how wide it is vertically. Also, the horizontal angle. It dictates how wide of an angle it is horizontally. And then there's the range, which is how far it extends. And there's a 2D variant of it all too. So if you want it to drastically change in 2D, you can do so. One thing that you can do is, if you want, in which we will probably just end up doing right here. If you want, you can simply just tick this on. I know a lot of people, especially after Sonic Omens came out, one thing that, you know, people were complaining about involving the homing attack is that it is tracked from the camera, which personally, if you're going to have a free camera movement system, that's what I prefer. I would rather, you know, track from the camera if you have a game with such a free moving camera like Plus does. But if you are just, you know, absolutely insistent that the homing attack tracks Sonic's location, you can do that instead by default. So if you wanted to track from Sonic's location instead of the camera's location, you can do that. So obviously the benefit is, if I had the camera on, if I had it tracking from the camera and I jumped from here, I would obviously target everything in front of me, regardless of which direction Sonic is facing. So if Sonic is facing in this direction, I would still be tracking those targets, but because I'm tracking from Sonic's location instead, I am no longer tracking those targets because Sonic is turned away. So that's one thing that people can do. We did include that functionality. I think it's annoying to some people because it makes hitting people for. Actually, the thing about forces is that it tracks from Sonic's location more accurately in forces. I noticed that the target Sonic is closest to is the one he will always home attack onto in forces. The only difference is Sonic cannot home attack behind him, which is the only most notable change that I know of. But save for the fact that Sonic always attacks something in front of him instead of behind him, I honestly don't have that much of an issue with forces homing attack. It ain't that huge deal. And considering you're always moving forward in Sonic Forces, I don't see any reason why you would need to home attack behind the camera anyway. There's like very so at that point in time it's kind of a nitpick. It's also, but you know, regardless, we've set it up so that people can have it their own way. So, like I said, because I set it back to track from the camera's position, regardless of which direction Sonic is facing, we will now home attack. Regardless, we'll always track these targets. It is possible to also include like Sonic's forward vector into it. Wouldn't necessarily be too difficult. All you would have to do is while in mid-air, you would track Sonic's forward vector and get the dot product between his forward vector and the camera's forward vector to see if they're within a certain range, and if they are, then you can classify that as a valid target. So you could still set it up so that you can track from the camera and still track Sonic's direction at the same time. That way you don't get that issue. I don't want to set that up. It shouldn't be too difficult, but it's not something. No. But that is a possibility. If enough people really want that functionality, we could work on it. But the main focus of all of that discussion was the dynamic camera. The dynamic camera now functions a little bit better with the homing attack. You can enter a dynamic camera and you can tell it, hey, I want Sonic to be able to home attack things because from his forward vector, which that is an option you can turn off. Was it? No. I think I left it on. Yeah. I did not make this instance editable. We probably could, but I don't see any reason. Mostly because the only two ways you can do this is either you can lock on to the character, or track the character from a location. I set it to lock on character. Why is it not locking on? That functionality now. Wait, I think you have to be moving above a certain speed. Whatever. But yeah, I don't really think there's any in terms of like actual things that we can show off. There's nothing else to talk about other than Knuckles. But like I said, all of Knuckles' stuff that we have changed are all under the hood. So all of the code inside of the power parent, like that Knuckles had, is now here instead of inside of his blueprint.
I'll be back in a minute.
He still does have code in his individual blueprint. How it's going to function is essentially what will happen is you press a button, like for example, if I want to punch, if I like, press the punch button and Knuckles punches. If I press the punch button, the master will recognize this. It'll go, oh, you're pressing the punch button. Let me do a couple of like overall checks that all characters will need to do. And then it goes, all right, here is a function call. The children or the power parent case will look at it and go, all right, I have this function call. Let me call an event, then do my own separate checks that I, as an individual parent, will need to do. Things like, oh, you pressed the punch button. Well, am I gliding? Or am I currently digging? Or am I already doing a punch? Things like that. Those things are things that the power parent checks, and then once it's cleared, it will then get sent to the individual character. So if you're playing Knuckles, it goes, hey, Knuckles, I pressed the punch button. Knuckles will then play his individual punch code. If I'm playing, for example, Vector, and Vector has his own individual punch code, like his punch code is different from Knuckles's, it functions differently, has slightly different, nuances or whatever. It would play Vector's punch code if I press, or if I was playing as Big or Omega or whatever, or another power character like Mighty or something. It would then go to that individual character and say, hey, this specific punch button has been pressed. You need to do this specific punch code. The individual character will go, hey, I have this punch. All right, let me go and do this individual punch then. That's how it will function. That's how we've currently set it up. There is still a couple of bugs. According to the manual, Knuckles can't dig at the moment. Oh, unless he can. Can he do it? He must have fixed it. A while ago, he was unable to dig, but the manual did push a change earlier today. So. Yep, Knuckles can dig now. So I thought that was an issue, but apparently it is not. Charles. Is Charles our friendly egg pod? I think that's the thing we've shown off, is we have like this indicator. It doesn't function as well as we would like to, but we do have an indicator that actually points you in the direction that you're real jump from. Damn, I was really hoping a man should come on today, but perhaps not. This is something that was mentioned in the Infinity Plus Discord. Someone was asking about documentation. Couple of things. Did you add the customizable O2 meter, and did you increase the low speed wall jump? The O2 meter is already customizable. Like, if you want to change it, you can. In terms of, like, its widget. I have no clue where that's at. Low speed wall jump. That still didn't clarify what it is you're asking. Are you talking about Sonic's wall jump? Is that what you're asking? God damn it, I can't. I don't know what you mean by fix, but like, you're going to be a little bit more specific with your term fix here. No, I can't use the cheat codes when I swap characters because the reference is invalid. How easy it would be to fix. It wasn't broken, but it didn't go far enough vertically. I mean, like that. Hope that this is strong enough. Obviously the strength of that can be adjusted individually. So if you want to change it, you're more than welcome to change it. Damn it. We've not changed that code at all. Not really. Not in a while. It is, like, we did fix it a little while back, so that way it actually functions better. Because it used to not function very well at all. It used to be quite broken. But jumping between two walls is much easier now, like so. If Sonic wasn't going full speed, he wouldn't cling on the wall far enough. I mean, we've never really gated the wall jump by the speed, so I don't know what that really means. I do know that there was an issue where once you were going at low speed, Sonic wasn't doing proper jumps, but that's an issue we fixed quite a long while ago. I mean, we fixed it in this update, not the 3 Knuckles update. That is still an issue, the 3 Knuckles update. But here in this update, it's been fixed. I'm gonna assume it's better now. If it's not, I'll just say something. Alright. I mean, it like, we did fix it. That was a thing that wasn't working in the 3 Knuckles update, was the wall jump was not working very well, but we did fix that quite a while ago. That was like... There's probably still some adjustments that could be made to it, but I forgot what we were planning on doing with it, so I can always peruse back through the dev streams and see what we were talking about, because I remember talking about it in one of the dev streams a while back. So, like I said, there isn't really a whole lot to show off in terms of like visual stuff. Because we're not adding anything new. Most of everything we're working on, again, is just stuff that needs to be fixed.
I'm back now, sorry.
Do you remember any changes we were planning on doing with the wall jump?
With the wall jump?
Yes.
I felt we talked about something like that like ages ago.
Yeah, I know in the 3 and Knuckles update, the wall jump was not working as intended. If you remember, because like we would be watching videos of people playing, and every time they got to that wall jump section, it was pain because it wasn't working at all.
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't remember what we would have talked about. I have the memory of a goldfish, dude.
I know that it's working better now, because I was literally just showing it off, and like if you're not moving quickly, how it used to work is if you were moving slowly, Sonic did not get enough vertical jump out of it. That's how it used to be, but we fixed that like a long time ago.
Didn't we not say we were going to do it slightly like GT?
Yeah,
like
it is working like GT now. Like if you try to jump up against a wall and you still have vertical movement, you'll retain that vertical movement. So it does work similarly to GT. but I think there might have been one other thing we were working on, or we were planning on doing with it, and we just never got around to it. But I remember fixing it. It does work now. If you try and do a wall jump while like not moving quickly, it does work. I remember saying that we was gonna do something. I just don't remember.
I wouldn't even be able to remember either.
So when you get close to a wall, you lose all your momentum, just like in GT. No,
GT doesn't make you lose your momentum.
well, it gradually drops it. It does like unlike in other Sonic games where whenever you try to run up against a wall and jump onto it, you'll lose all of your momentum. In GT, you do retain some of it. Most of it is vertical. I don't know how much horizontal momentum you retain because I never really tested it in GT, but I do know that you retained a lot of vertical momentum. In our project, you do retain both vertical and horizontal momentum, but you lose horizontal momentum much quicker than you do vertical. But obviously, if you do jump quick enough, you can retain some of that horizontal momentum. So you can do like if you're good enough, you can do a pseudo triangle jump still. And maybe that's what it was. I think we wanted to adjust the high speed jump a little bit more. I think the low speed wall jump was fine. I think we wanted to adjust the high speed jump, what it was. Again, I talked to Emmanuel about it, and if he was here, we could talk to him about it, but he... the other thing was, do you know where the H2O meter is?
Oh, like the widget?
Yeah.
Isn't it not in there somewhere? It's like breath bar or something, a breath meter? No, I think it'd be somewhere in this folder here.
Xbox quit current game over hint text item tray. HUD test item box item icon level card boost bar color power art overheat bar echo bar scrap bar pause screen result screen notification target health character abilities game widget.
Where it could be is it could be in the character folder because it was an original thing from Vanilla Infinity because that folder never existed.
What's up? What is up is
Scroll down a bit more.
that's what's up. How you doing today? PC gaming.
It's debugging FPS. Go to the character, and then go to
Assets.
there.
Player
Yeah, there
breath.
it is.
If I remember right, that's Noto, isn't it?
That's Noto.
I think so. Could be wrong. I remember Noto saying his Twitch user. But yeah, if you want to change the breath widget, you can do so right here.
That bar could probably do with a little rework from me at some point. Because it's like using an entire canvas panel, it doesn't need to do that.
Oh, we can do that whenever we rework the HUD.
That is what will be happening.
I don't think... I already showed off the camera thing with the dynamic camera. Discussed what we're down with Knuckles. I think... right here. How's it going, Supersonic? I hope you're having a good day. That'll fix it. Yeah, technically it fixed it. Huh.
Oof.
You. I'll have to talk to Emmanuel about that one.
That's the catchphrase of this stream at the moment, isn't it?
Talk to Emmanuel, and as soon as he gets on, I am going to berate him. I mean, greet him.
Oh, yeah. Greet him as the friend he is. Yeah. And then fire him.
Quick recap of all of the nothing we have talked about. We are very close to release. Sonic and Knuckles 3 left 2 dead. You're fine, that's good to hear. We're getting ready for a release. We just have to get some old assets cleaned up, which I'm either going to do later today or I'll do tomorrow. Haven't decided yet. Get some old assets cleaned up. Once the assets are cleaned up, patch in some issues involving shooting and enemies attacking and the power parents. I would like to get the gun hunter, especially since it seems I, for the most part, have actually gotten the gun beetle functioning. Like the gun beetle technically functions as intended. But we're still probably gonna have to rework the egg pawn anyway, because the egg pawn is shooting from the wrong location. We can't change that because the component is inherited. We can't parent an inherited component. So we might just create a brand new component for the egg pawn. But leave the one in the master as a default one to use. I don't know yet. Maybe we'll just get rid of it and have to create one to individual children. I don't know. But regardless, I think the shields are pretty functional for the most part. I think Emmanuel said there's 1 or 2 bugs with the shields, but other than that, the shields are pretty much functional.
Emmanuel has said something in chat. In our Discord.
Fuck. That is, in fact, what he has said.
That is currently what he said.
An hour after I messaged him. The car broke down. God damn it. I was having car problems. This car is dead.
Again.
Which tells me that it was not the battery, because he was told it was the battery.
Now, you see, if you open up the hood and then you look underneath the engine, you'll see there's this tiny little screw. If that's missing, then that's your problem. I'm engineer. I'm engineer.
Can you remind me how directional shields work? No. Alright, I'm kidding. Still technically no, because I didn't create the directional shields.
Is that for the enemies?
Say what?
Is that for the enemies?
That Jackaboy is raiding with a party of 3. How's it going, Jackaboy? I hope you had a great stream.
I mean, that boy, Jack Boy.
That boy, Jackaboy. I'm tired. I can't reach day. I'm sorry. What's good? I'm tired, but other than that, doing alright, and you're doing good. That's good to hear.
Good.
Lots of goods.
That's good. That's great.
The balloons also give items. The balloons actually can already do that. They can actually give items. So, I already beat you to that one. Where's Emmanuel when you need him? Apparently on the side of the road. That's where he's at the moment. Means I technically can't be mad at him.
technically can't be mad. There's a technicality in here, isn't there?
I am. The ref threw in a yellow flag, and on a technicality, I'm not allowed to be mad at him because the car broke down. It was out of his control. Although I can still be mad at him for forgetting that we was doing a dev stream today. He did legitimately just straight up forget. Hey, we got dev stream. He's like, what? I thought that was next Monday. I'm like, no.
Why doesn't he just run home? He's a Sonic fan. He can run, can't he?
Anyway, I hope your stream was good. That boy, Jack boy. I hope you had a great day.
Our stream is just not much at the moment.
Well, the stream is fine. What we have to show on the stream is not fine because we don't have anything to show.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm meaning. I'm not saying our stream is bad. I'm just saying we don't have much content at the moment.
The main thing that we're saying is we are getting ready for the the Colorful Combat release. We're almost ready.
We're re-releasing 3 and Knuckles, guys. We took out everything and just we're re-releasing the same update.
Yeah, we're gonna re-release 3 and Knuckles again.
That was the secret. That was the big secret. The only addition was we're gonna add Big Chungus.
The update's almost ready. We gotta do some cleanup, some patchwork, and we're hoping to get done by the end of the week. Our main focus is going to be projectile enemies, shield enemies, and enemies attacking in general. But they're not working. I touched the balloon and didn't give 10 rings. Well, Supersonic, that's because we didn't add that functionality until after 3 and Knuckles, so can't help you with that one. Something we are adding now.
Try to catch me bad and dirty.
Can you put all flying enemies on a trail? I've seen the Gunhawk do it. Yes, technically you can put anything on a trail. Anything that is set to movable can be put on a trail. I get rings from balloons and 3 and Knuckles. Yeah, that's what it used to be. It used to just be rings. But now you can technically set them to anything. So.
Apparently I'm a Redditor. What did I say that makes me a Redditor? I wasn't actually paying attention to what I said.
Probably because you said Big Chungus.
Ah, right, yes.
How's it going, Shiranui?
A man of quality.
So. Hit this. Did not give me rings. Why didn't it give me rings? Oh, I know why it didn't give me rings. It's because...
Is it set to give you rings?
Interact has changed. I'm gonna fix that. That'll be super easy. Event graph. Every time I open the event graph, it always changes. You are not meant to be there. Go back. I'm trying to keep things organized. Keep comment boxes organized, but no. Time I open up Unreal, Unreal's like, I know, I'm just gonna change everything.
Do you need a cookie?
Yeah. Alright, this will be... Oh, this... Add 10 ring. Alright, this will be an easy fix. I know what to do with it. We have the functionality here to add any item that you want. It's just not... But honestly, I can probably do that later today. Time after the stream. It doesn't help that we're technically using a plugin for comment boxes, which, by the way, this is completely side thing. You don't need this plugin to get the update. Obviously, there's some plugins that integrate themselves into the project files, so that way, if you want to get the project files, you need the plugin. But this is not one of them. We have a comment box plugin that's really, really nice. You are able to like individually select nodes to include into things. So if I pressed, god damn it. Here we go. If I press this here and I can just come over to this box here and want to say like, oh, add this node to it, I can do that. Or if I want to remove it, I can simply click the remove selected node. It'll remove the selected node instead. You can also
I still want to say something to a manual, but I don't know if I should. I feel like be a dick if I said it.
You can also replace the selected nodes. And anything inside of it, you can also delete all nodes within inside of the comment box. So this is actually a really, really useful plugin. I would suggest people getting. Reese got it. He found it. And he added it to the project. I've loved it ever since. It doesn't play well with repos, because sometimes I'll make changes to it, and sometimes that metadata doesn't get pushed through to the repo, and then like Reese or Emmanuel will pull it, they'll work on something, they'll push it, and because that metadata didn't get pushed whenever they originally pulled it, it gets replaced with whatever they push, and then I re-download their push, and then it's like, oh, all the stuff that you did earlier is no longer there because we forgot to push your metadata, but we pushed their metadata and shit. So this comment box doesn't like working with repos, but for individual projects, I would heavily suggest it. It's really nice.
Pardon me.
So what?
I just said pardon me to myself. I gave Emmanuel some advice. He's doing his ponder face.
Well, the car stopped working when I was stopped at the light, so it's something I shouldn't have tried to turn it on and off. I'm gonna ask him a question. I don't know if you'll get this question, but it's kind of a pseudo in joke for us Americans.
Let's see if I get it. Let's see if I'm not in with the American lingo. I kind of get it.
I don't know.
I know me a bit about Fords.
Say what?
I know me a bit about Fords.
I don't know if this is a joke for everywhere else, but in some places here in America, the joke about Ford vehicles is that they're made with really shoddy craftsmanship, so they break down really easily. I had an uncle who had a Ford truck, like a Ford pickup truck, and it broke down all the time. It never functioned properly. So that's kind of the on-running in-joke here about Ford vehicles. Don't fucking work.
Oof.
So yeah. The other thing we need to do before release is we need to get a trailer up, which I recorded some footage for a trailer. I think I'm going to re-record it though, with new footage once I make some adjustments to the debug room. But once that is done, the update will be pretty close to ready. We do have someone else that has agreed. Say what?
Doing the trailer.
Yeah, we have someone else that has agreed to do the trailer. We're not going to tell you who it is who's doing the trailer this time, because it'll be a surprise. But I am very surprised to see how this trailer will end up working out, because they are a very good video editor.
Very surprised? You mean very excited?
Excited. Tired.
I'm being a grammar Nazi. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, I can't tell you who's doing the trailer. I'm not gonna tell you. I have a question. Do you often program a game you use the basic formula A plus B? What? So is this the second to last update? Hopefully. Hope it's the second to last update.
Yep.
If we have to do another small update after this, we will. Ideally, we would prefer not to. We would prefer the next update after Colorful Combat to be the last one. But if that just ends up not being how it works out, then whatever.
A Cleveland Brown impression. I was confused for a second. And
Why does Reese do good Cleveland Brown? You do good Cleveland.
oh, that's nasty.
Oh, that's nasty. Gotta stop taking my baths during shenanigans.
I've gotta stop taking my baths during Peter's shenanigans. I apparently look like Harry Potter, and I can do a good Cleveland impression, eh?
You do look like Harry Potter.
Do 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 do. I'm a wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A what? A what?
That.
Harry, there's no way I can be more specific with that, Harry.
You're a wizard. Imagine Harry Potter sounding like Cleveland.
Oh, Hermione, that's nasty.
Now that's just nasty.
I've got to stop taking my baths during Ron shenanigans.
Because I know what you look like, and that like actually makes me picture fucking Harry Potter saying that. God damn it.
Oh, Fizz, that's nasty.
Alright, well. We're not going to cut it off here, obviously, because we've only gone for an hour. But I am going to go and grab a drink. Because one, this is almost empty, and two, it's waterlogged. But if anyone wants to just talk about something.
Well, apparently it's Harry Potter.
That's just nasty.
Oh, Peter, that's nasty. But the true question is, can Fizz do a Lois impression? So yeah, he's gone. I'm taking over Infinity Plus. I'm taking all your code, all your oh shit, he's back. Hi.
What did you say about my mum?
Your mum.
Yeah, mum.
Your mum is a respected member of the community and has a well-paid job.
And Fizz is absent like you said he would be in the last devlog. No, that's the next devlog. I'll be absent in the next devlog. Not be here. I will be in Florida.
Baft. No. No.
No.
You can't do that. I can't do the no, or Fizz can't.
I can't go to Florida.
Oh.
On one hand,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that I'm going to Florida because it's Florida.
You don't have a life outside of Infinity Plus.
On the other hand, I will be going on vacation with my family.
Apparently, it's a Honda Civic.
See, he said good guess though, which means he gets the joke. By the way, Reese.
Yes, don't you dare fucking do it. I'm gonna.
Got all over my thumb.
Good. I hope you got it all over your thumb. Makes your thumb, I don't know.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Mountain Dew all over the thumb.
I'll have
Great
to
at insults.
I'll have to look into this community thing. Nothing but rain and alligators. I'm an alligator.
You're gonna find Vector? I mean, Vector's a crocodile, but you know, close enough.
And Florida people.
Florida people.
That's like one of the few American jokes that will never get old to me. It's just everyone making fun of Florida people. I don't know why. It's just...
Oh, look who's in the chat.
Which is actually sad because my brother actually moved to Florida. I don't know why my brother moved to Florida. He just decided to move to Florida. I'm like, oh.
He's a Florida man now?
Yeah, my brother's a Florida man now. Down there with his girlfriend.
In a hot car with my sister waiting for AAA.
So
You're waiting for the wrestler AAA? Damn, bro.
Oh, this is just...
I love it how nobody got the joke. Alright.
This must be a British thing.
But wrestling's American.
I don't know any wrestlers.
Damn it.
Florida tends to be a joke, I guess. I remember there was like a nationwide poll where everyone asked what the worst state is.
It's gonna body slam the Civic. That'll get it going.
I remember reading about saying a poll asking the American people which state was the worst, and everyone voted, or not everyone, but like Florida won out. But what's funny is a lot of people that lived in Florida also voted Florida. So even Floridan people hate Florida.
Nothing much, Emmanuel. We've just been calling you out.
Going on?
Like almost all stream.
Pretty much. Also, to answer your car, answer your car.
Answer the car.
I'm so tired. Answer your question. I have no idea what the hell your question is, Supersonic. I had read your question. I still don't understand it. Like I didn't. Like, you asked the question, and I didn't understand the question. So I didn't give an answer because I didn't understand the question. What are the updates? I came too late. Excuse me. Why is it anything controversy happens always Florida, Texas, and California? If something controversial happens in Florida, it's to be expected, which just makes it funny. If something controversial happens in Texas, Texas has to make a massive deal out of everything because they're divas. So we always hear about it. Diva? Yeah, sure. And then California could basically be its own economy. So if something happens in California, it's actually a pretty bad deal. So that's why we hear from those three states the most. Anyway, to actually go back to like the recap, Shiranui, all of the totally important things that we have been talking about this dev stream that you missed, that is totally not me repeating the exact same two things over and over and over and over and over again. The only technically 3/4 things that we have done this since the last dev stream, we've added the gun beetle. The gun beetle has been added. It does also kind of technically work. Obviously the enemies aiming and shooting, that's had some patchwork done to it, but it's still not completely fixed up. Enemy shields are in now. Enemies have functional shields. I think there's still some patchwork to be done with it, but they are in now. All of Knuckles' combat code has been, or not all of it, well, large chunks of it, and especially the more important chunks of it, have been moved to the power parent to make other children of the power parent that people might want to create easier to make. Those are like the three main things. The fourth thing was I fixed the homing attack code to properly work inside of camera volumes, dynamic camera volumes. So if you go into a dynamic camera volume, the homing attack will actually track from Sonic's location rather than from the camera, similar to what it does in the 2D sections. That's technically been a thing. One thing that I did add, and it's kind of working, kind of not working, is the ability to enable and disable individual movement in enemies. There's a boolean here that can dictate whether or not an enemy can move. If they are capable of moving, they will move around. If they are incapable of moving, anytime the AI tree asks to move, or tells the enemy to move, it will first check to see if this boolean is on. If it is on, they can move. If it's not on, they will be unable to move. It almost works. Technically, the movement does work, but enemies sometimes don't attack you, is the problem right now. And it used to be way more broken than it was, but I've kind of gotten it a little bit more fixed up than I have it now. But it still needs to be worked on. And once that is fixed up and functioning a little bit better, enemies will be almost pretty much ready. All we're looking to do right now is remove any old assets we're not ready to release. And then it's just patchwork and we'll be ready for the release. That's mainly it. The controls and camera volumes need work. Yeah, that's some stuff that needs to be
That's the
fixed
thing
up.
you need to do in manual.
And the tutorial room, no. And I was not planning on showing off the tutorial room. The only part of the tutorial room I may show off is Sonic's section, because everyone knows what Sonic's section is. There's some minor adjustments made to it, but for the most part, the tutorial room is all exactly the same on Sonic's part. Some text boxes have been changed a little bit, and some minor moving around of things, but other than that, it all now fixes camera volume car. Yeah, just code in Unreal on your phone. Duh.
Exactly. Everyone wants the Android port. Have you got an Android or have you got an iPhone? If he's got an iPhone, he's out of luck.
If in programming a game, do you use the basic formula A plus B equals C? Again, I'm not sure what that question is asking. Do you understand, Reese, what that question is asking?
Not really. He does have Android. He can dev in the car.
You can develop in the car. Yep. Come on, Emmanuel, just do it. Maybe
Emmanuel,
plus for Android.
Work on the Android port while you're at it, please.
I use my phone in the processing power will turn my phone nuclear.
Yes. I just oh god. I just realized, like, when Emmanuel said like AAA, obviously that must be your auto service thing.
We have a few of them. AAA is one of them. OnStar is one of them.
We have a few, but the funny thing is, you've got AAA. We've got the AA. We've just got AA here.
AA batteries.
Yeah,
you've learned how to code from
AA.
code.org.
Q.org and then code.
.org. Let's see. I'm gonna talk to the person that's gonna be editing our trailer here soon, and Reese.
That's what you're about to see on manual.
Yeah. We need to go over the screenplay of the trailer, try and get it done. I know we have an idea of what we're gonna do. Yes, trailer. You would sit in on a few meetings, you would know what we're talking about. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Manuel. You know, instead of hanging out with your cool new friends. Yeah.
But Yeah, we need to get that done, because the sooner we get that done, the sooner we can get to trailer editor and
the guy who shall not be named on stream before you say anything, Emmanuel.
he can get things set up and we can talk to him about it. Probably talk about that today. That way we can get it done as soon as possible. Give him plenty of time.
Yep. Oh, poor Emmanuel. He's crying now. Emmanuel, we're sorry. It's just because you're American.
So, but yeah, I don't know if you saw this, Emmanuel, but I technically got working. Still got some weird issues.
Just a few.
What will the name of the update be? It's Colorful Combat.
Colorful Combat. Give me the Funyun. Give me the Funyun rings.
Beetle teleports. Yeah, that's the main issue. Was not the last one? No, that was not the name of the last update. The last update we released was 3 and Knuckles.
No,
we
released a demo. We released
yes.
a demo of this update at CH last year. So yeah, technically, if you want to get technical, the last thing we released was Colorful Combat, but it wasn't the full version.
The demo we released at Sage and the Christmas demo we released last Christmas were built in the Colorful Combat update. But this update here, the actual project file update that we are going to be releasing, that's going to be called Colorful Combat. And basically, 2 factors give a result regardless of which sign of the deck. So, you mean basic algebra? As an Emmanuel's here, we can ask him our questions. Oh, that does remind me, Emmanuel, I did find an issue with Knuckles. Alright, are you ready?
Do you see something wrong here, Emmanuel? I mean, I think everything seems hunky-dory to me, to be honest, but
I don't know why.
Just wanted to go over with you. I'm sorry. I'm being a bit.
I cannot uncrouch remove. Shields on characters aren't up to code. Well, we will. If we don't have time, we can just remove that feature. I'm not like super about it. Speaking, after my, I just can't understand him. Currently, this happens with enemies. These enemies, standing still can attack, but the enemies that walk around cannot. It has to do with their AI tree, which I need help with. I've worked on the AI tree for this for like, including today and the other day on it, I've worked on it for like 4+ hours. And I've made progress with it, but it's just driving me insane. I'm getting it figured out. I get one thing working, and then the other thing stops working. And I get that working, and the thing that I initially got working stops working. So, I can't get both sides working is the problem. So, worked on it for infinity plus hours. Because this guard game is weak, just a little bit. We were thinking of changing it. We probably won't do this until after the update. But currently, Knuckles cannot, or any power characters cannot take touch damage. They just simply bounce off characters. Bonk, like so. We'll probably change it so that our characters will lose a set amount of rings. Similar to how Bane has it set in his update, or in his project. Because not losing any rings at all is pretty OP, but your Knuckles is still, like, vulnerable to attacks, so that's the thing we gotta get working. The actual hitboxes on the enemies are not working at the moment, so enemies can't actually hurt the player.
The characters are just in constant invincibility state. It's fine.
Displays in this update too. Have there been any new characters? Updates on character animations. Blaze is in this update. She was in the past 2 updates. We're not going to remove her. She has had some minor work done to her on the visual side. I don't know about animation work. I don't think we did anything animation-wise with her, but we did some texture and material work with her. We showed that off a little while ago. That's why the Master Emerald gets stolen all the time. Basic binomial algebra. Yeah, I know how algebra or basic algebra works. Heavy moves work in 2D now mostly. Oh yeah, that's something you just pushed last night, isn't it? I went up to the 2D section. I can do my basic stuff. I can also use these moves. Oh, that's not right. Oh, I didn't replace the enemies up here.
Oh, they're still the old ones.
No, there's just no enemies, period.
What was the most recent project we saw made with Infinity Plus? Oh, it was Brotherhood.
Brotherhood by Junkie Studios.
Yes, that's got a level in to play with Infinity Plus. It's a modified version.
Yep. That uses the 3 Knuckles update, I believe.
Yeah, and there's also
I don't know how Allergy Bros work.
There's also Tiger's Red Ridge Zone thing. That's off a little while ago, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
Tiger may be waiting for us to get this update out before they continue working too much, but maybe not. Didn't you study at school? Fun fact, I actually failed math multiple times in college. But not because I am incapable of doing math, but because when it comes to math, I have to be taught a certain way.
Oh yeah, BC Gaming was Junkie, isn't it?
Junkie, that's who it was. I thought it was Noto, but no, that's Junkie.
No, it's Junkie.
Also, I forgot to ask, how are you doing today, Arya? I pronounced that correctly. BC Gaming is Junkie. Junkie is the one that made went to college in this economy. I did. I went to community college for 2 years. I thought I told you this. Stretch. All right. Second. But yep, I actually failed math, or what was it? An algebra. I don't remember what it was. I think it was. I passed basic algebra. It was like intermediate algebra I failed. But I have since learned how to do a lot of that now on my own time because I've been teaching myself. But I have learned that unlike other subjects, I have to teach math to myself a very specific way. So, yeah, you did just being dumb. Oh, okay. It's fine, Zero. Pronounced it right. I'm doing well. Really excited to see more of your guys' work. That's good to hear. I'm glad you're doing good. What else was there? I guess if anyone else has questions or concerns or just want to talk about stuff, they can. Because we didn't really have a whole lot to show off, and before we close up, I'll just do one last recap for the 5th time. Because that's basically all I did was repeat the exact same thing. What is my favorite character to play in Infinity Plus? I still enjoy Sonic. I'm still Sonic cuckboy. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. There's only one right answer, Blaze.
Blaze is fun to play too. I do enjoy playing as Blaze. If of the 4 speed characters we have, Sonic, Blaze, Shadow, and Metal Sonic, I do enjoy playing as Sonic and Blaze, Shadow, and Metal. I do on occasion enjoy playing as Shadow, but currently the only difference between them all is aesthetic. So Knuckles is probably my favorite. In terms of combat, Knuckles might be my favorite, but Sonic is still pretty close in second. Delete Shadow. Oof. That's under this whole thing. Is there a way to add levels in the executable? Or do you only add them through Unreal? You have to add them on Unreal. You have to have the Unreal Engine project to create and add levels to. And from there, you would package your own executable.
You just have to play other fan games that use the engine.
Yep. Should we expect you at E3 and Summerfest? Yep, totally. We're going to be at E3 and Summerfest. That's whenever we announce we're adding Chris Thorndike.
You told them that, guy. It's not going to be a surprise for E3.
There was one surprise character that we were planning on adding. Do you remember?
Oh, I remember, all right.
We're planning on adding one special character.
Big Chungus.
Where is it? I'm trying to scroll up and find it. We're actually going to have 2 different versions of this character. One normally and one for the DX port.
Oh, I know exactly what you're on about now. It was in voice chat. If you go to the Dane's thing.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull Discord over. We got the special character.
I hit the wrong button.
The new character leak right here.
Yep. That's
the DX port. That's the new Infinity Plus character right there. You guys didn't see that from me.
Let's go.
Alright, your phone's low. Alright, well, see you later, Emmanuel.
Okie dokie, Emmanuel.
I'll berate him
Hopefully
later.
you get sorted out soon.
You think I'm in the wrong timeline? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, Shiranui, but Carl Weezer is the best Sonic character.
This is the ultimate timeline, Shiranui. Bow before my power. What we have is special, and you can't take it from us.
Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Grab grass. Secret character confirmed Metal Sonic. We already have Metal Sonic. We need to add Cleveland and Reese. You can voice Cleveland. Now, Eggman, that's just nasty.
I've got to stop taking my baths during Eggman shenanigans.
Sonic got a blast.
Sonic is Jimmy Neutron. Brain blast.
Would that make Tails, Carl, and Knuckles Sheen?
Yes. Tails will be Carl, and Knuckles is Sheen.
Then there's Nick, which is Shadow. Shadow's gonna be Nick.
Couldn't handle the Sonic style. Later shit.
Later shit. That's Super Blaze. That is not Super Blaze. Unless you count Honey, in which case, yeah, sure, I suppose Honey is Super Blaze.
Because Honey's just so good. I think they're on about the icon next to Silver.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that character is. Reese just put this icon here, and
I have never told him who it is.
Nope.
It's nobody important at all. It's totally not. If you say anything bad about her in the Discord, you'll have an immediate ban.
see here.
IDW
It's
character.
Death Metal Sonic, Metallic Sonic. No. Oh yeah,
It's just
that's
Fizz the see. It's Fizz the Hedgehog.
it's Fizz the Hedgehog. Let's see here. Get these two peasant blobs away from the queen.
Queen. Must protect the queen. Step away from the queen's guard.
And then nobody tell anyone, but this mystery character is Professor Pickle. So we're adding it's Professor Pickle. Aluminum Sonic. Yeah, it's Aluminum Sonic, not Aluminium Sonic.
Aluminium Sonic.
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
Yeah, aluminum. That's what I said.
Aluminium, you absolute prick.
Absolute. I do wonder who this additional character
I
will be,
hear aluminum one more time. I'm gonna.
Blaze is not a good character. Oof. Well, I guess Azerio is getting banned.
Azerio is going to get Swift Banhammer, and I think Shinanui is going to hunt them down.
Banish Azerio
to the Shadow Realm.
the Shadow Realm.
Ah.
I wonder who people will vote for, though. I've heard a lot of people say they want Amy. I'm half expecting to see Amy whenever we get around to opening the poll for this additional character.
That's the one I see the most happening.
I can see Amy. I could see maybe Rouge. Potentially maybe Omega. Maybe Vector or SPO. I don't
like Cream. For me, seems like another character that might kind of happen out of nowhere, because I think people will look at like the character distribution. When you think about it, we've only got one fly character.
Technically, we have two.
Oh yeah, Silver.
We have one power character, but we're going to be adding a new power character with Mighty. Mighty will be a power character.
That's true.
Betty the Boobs is my vote. You all have the model character teamed, don't you? For the most part, yeah.
We've got a model for every character from Sonic Heroes, at least. Because, like, the majority of them were, well, yeah, practically all of them were in Generations, except for, like, Omega and Big. But
Omega and Big are the only models we got from. Where did we get Omegas? Was that Forces?
Omega is Forces, and Big was Olympic Games, and then Blaze and Silver, obviously, are there too.
Yeah.
Which
what about Charmy?
We have Charmy.
We do have Charmy.
In terms of Charmy, we have Charmy.
Alright, if you had to vote for a character, who would you vote for?
Ray.
God damn it, I knew he was going to say Ray. I was about to say other than Ray, but I didn't know if he was actually going to say Ray.
No, it's a joke. This is a joke. I kid. Sheesh. I think
Now, Classic Sonic. There are going to be a couple stipulations for the voting. Classic Sonic will not be accepted.
I think, to be honest, I'm just going to be kind of like a sheep, and I'd go with probably what everyone else would probably go for, and is Amy.
I would probably say Cream. If I were to vote for a character, I would vote for Cream. But I'm not going to vote for a character because that would be unfair. Yeah. Say what?
For me, it would also either be Amy or Cream. Like, Cream is also another one.
I wonder how she would play. I imagine the power character. Amy, if we added Amy, she would be classified as a speed character. Oh, excuse me.
Speed with more combat.
Yeah, probably.
That's kind of like how Amy would work. It would be a speed character, but a bit more focused on combat.
Cream would have cool combat too. Yeah, Cream would have an interesting
combat.
Her combat will be the same as Tails' in terms of like the bombs, but
Cream's got bombs. Cream's the lastest. If anybody's played Genshin Impact, Cream is now Klee.
the combat outside of the bombs will probably be different from Tails.
Just for cream, you just spam X and throw cheese at everything. Just eating cheese your way through the game. It's so funny. It's not like that joke. It's not like that joke has been used like everywhere.
Yeah, I have a strong feeling everyone's going to be voting Amy. Not because I hate Amy or anything, because I don't. I do enjoy Amy. I do think that she's a really nice character. I kind of low-key hope Amy doesn't win, though, because it would be more interesting to work on a more unique character, like Omega, or like Vector or something like that, you know? I would...
Omega would be cool, because we're just adding a like guns.
Yeah. Vector, or not Vector. Vector, well, I guess Vector, but mostly Omega would be a lot more interesting of a character to work on, because the plus pack character we'll be adding, they're actually going to be a bit more unique. They're still going to follow the tropes of the class that they'll end up being in, but we're going to try and do something unique with them, like expand on their basic idea. And we could do Amy. I'm not saying that we couldn't, but I feel like doing Amy wouldn't be much of a challenge. But who knows? Maybe it would be.
I mean, we could, like, again, like what we've done with other characters, it could be something where we kind of redesign the character from the ground up, like we did with Knuckles.
I want this version of Rouge lying so she can use her sonar. That would be interesting. It would be interesting to add like some type of sonar capability for Rouge.
You choose Rouge, and it'll add like a post-processing effect over the screen. Just makes everything like dark, or like it makes just the screen black, and you can just like see outlines of stuff in a vicinity, just wherever sound bounces off. That'd be oofing.
Amy is going to have boost. I don't think it's because she's not very fast. If we ended up going with Amy, she would have access to all of the same abilities that every other speed character would have. She would have access to the stomp, to the boost, to the bounce, to the homing attack. She would have access to all of those, including the home attack modifiers. However, if we did go with Amy, we would be doing more with her. For example, if people didn't want the boost, we might have an alternate version similar to an adventure type Amy where she could use her hammer in place of that.
It'd be cool for Amy if it's not cool because it's annoying, but something it might be neat for like Amy is instead of a spin dash, she does the peel out like she did in Advance.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is with the peel out, obviously, is you take damage when you're running forward. But like I thought maybe when you do a peel out with her, when she's at that like stage, any enemy she'll run into, she'll hit with a hammer like automatically. So it's like
it'd be interesting instead of rolling Amy, because like it would most likely just be aesthetic, similar to what we have with Blaze. But it would also probably benefit Amy a bit more because her hitbox would be larger than everyone else. But instead of Amy rolling into a ball, she could do a pseudo pirouette spin similar to Blaze, but with her hammer extended. You know what I mean?
Oh, what when she
rolls like
when she rolls like Sonic with Caliburn.
Kind of. Well, no, like Blaze. Like Blaze does a horizontal spin, a pirouette.
Oh, you mean? So sorry. No, yeah, you mean like kind of like a tornado sort of thing.
Yeah, similar to what she does in Sonic Battle. You know.
I know what you mean now. Yeah.
Kind of like that. That would be kind of interesting. Give her like a unique take on the roll. Give her like maybe a wider, larger hitbox to hit enemies with, but maybe make her a bit slower or something like that. So.
Like, yeah, if Amy did win out on the vote at the end, I still think we can do some interesting stuff with the moveset for her.
Amy may have a spin dash instead of a boost. Technically, all speed characters have a spin dash. You can have the spin dash and the boost at the same time. They're not exclusive.
All characters have the spin dash by default from any class.
Even Silver. Silver has a spin dash. And a spin jump. Silver can spin jump on enemies because fuck whoever thought not being able to spin jump would be cool. That's one thing I will not do with Amy is we will allow her to spin jump.
Oh no, yeah. When she jumps,
There
she
is
has to spin.
there is no way in hell I'm not gonna have her spin jump. That is just stupid.
Mm.
Can't do that in a Sonic game.
A trick system, and every time she lands, she does a drop run.
Yeah, that's what her spin dash in advance was called, was a drop run, I think. But I could be wrong.
Ah.
The more tricks you
Just
do, the more powerful it is.
essentially just remake Heroes as wonky momentum when you land on the ground.
Like, you land on the ground, you just take off with horizontal speed at like a million miles per hour. Like,
Yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, there's loads of stuff, like fun stuff we can do. Like when we think about Omega, it's just pure combat for Omega.
this is completely unrelated. I like how you say Omega. Because,
How I see Omega.
yeah, because, like, whenever you say it slowly like that, you say Omega, but whenever you say it quickly, you say Omega.
Omega.
Like,
That is good.
the way you, like, merge words together, whenever you speak quickly with your accent, it makes it sound like you're saying Omega instead of Omega.
I've never noticed that. I swear I didn't do that. I
You
mean,
did,
it's on the
but
recording.
it's like it's funny, but like
Yeah, whenever we work on Omega, Omega, Omega.
Omega.
Yeah, I guess I go Omega, but like Eggman.
Eggman Nega Omega 10 times fast. No,
No, I don't want to say that.
it's not
I
gonna
know where that
happen.
will go. Um, but yeah, if we were to work on Omega instead, it's just pure combat for him. God, you got me thinking about it every time I'm saying his name now.
You're subconscious about saying his name.
Yep. um,
The one character I'm excited to work on, and I know I've said this in the past, but Whisper. I want to work on Whisper so badly. I want to get this
it's
update done though. Is the thing.
it's almost time.
We'll have Firo's tornado jump. Probably not.
No,
We'll probably not have the tornado jump. Oh, excuse me.
just with Omega, we just had a huge arsenal of weapons. It just turned it into Ratchet and Clank. That's Omega's gameplay. Just
Oh,
make it.
I know
Ratchet
what we could do with Omega. I know what we could do with Omega. You know
Enlighten
how Knuckles has his combos, like his
Mhm.
basic combos. You have like your nope, did not. Like you have your punch or your single punch combo, and then you have your second punch combo, and you have your three punch combo. You know, like one thing that would be interesting is similar to Knuckles, his individual punches will be melee attacks, but his combos will be projectiles. That way you could be both close range and long range with Omega. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All the variety in gameplay styles.
Yeah. That would be really interesting to do with Omega. And obviously all of his power attacks could be a mix between melee and ranged.
Mm-hmm. Kill, destroy,
Annihilate.
worthless consumer models.
That would be really cool. I would see that.
Well, if he wins the vote off, we can get to do it. Just bribe a few people. Vote for Omega.
Cream is one of the few characters where I have considered sitting down and just being like, all right, let's add Cream. But I don't think we will at the end of the day.
It could be just something you could do after the fact if
Yeah.
you ever got bored.
Maybe
You know?
we could do that. We can just include Cream as an additional plus pack download. Maybe not. I don't know. What if Infinite wins? Maybe we could maybe do Infinite. I don't know. I'm probably going to avoid bad guys, I think. With Metal Sonic being that exception, obviously.
We can't add the boy, the man, the myth, the legend,
Starline.
Eggman. Oh, Starline though. Oh, I would love to do that, but I couldn't even imagine working on him, to be honest.
Starline is just Portal, but in
Yeah,
Sonic.
that's what I was thinking. Starline's just Portal.
I mentioned this. Okay, we were in call with Bane the other day, and I mentioned this to him. But like the very first fan game I ever thought about making, 2D platformer that is like a mixture between Sonic and Portal.
Yeah, Sonic and Portal. There you go. Starline can be your protagonist.
Yep.
Ironic because he's the antagonist. Ironic.
Maybe in SPL will have Lightspeed Dash because Heroes they don't have it. Yes, they will have the Lightspeed Dash. All speed characters have the Lightspeed Dash.
Speed.
Infinite just has Dragon Ball's Universe gameplay. Never played any of those games, so I have no reference.
I think I know. I think I know what gameplay style is on about, and it's funny. I am not
where he's weak.
It's always weak. No, he's just Yamcha from Dragon Ball. You know that joke at least.
Isn't he the one that just keeps getting his shit kicked in all the time?
He's one of them.
One of them.
I mean, there's Krillin.
Yeah, I know there's Krillin.
Krillin just keeps dying.
That's. I don't know a lot about Dragon Ball, but from what I've heard, that's a thing that keeps happening is dying.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't know a lot about Dragon Ball. From what I know, yeah, Yamcha keeps getting his shit kicked in. Krillin keeps dying, and Vegeta is just there to make the new bad guy look even more stronger than they are. Because he'll always get beaten up by the new bad guy. That's what I remember being told.
Yamcha is a Chad in Dragon Ball or Dragon. What fighter is he? Oh. In Dragon All Fighters, that's what it is. It's Dragon All Fighters.
Everyone's here.
Fucking Ronald McDonald shows up.
Ronald McDonald in Dragon Ball. Let's go.
Some of the characters can fight freely without limitation. Okay. It'd
be fun. I've just got the image now of Ronald McDonald with Super Saiyan hair in my head. And that is a powerful image. I don't know how I feel about it. Well, is it in your head too?
No, I was trying to drink something and then you put that in my head. Try not to spit at my fucking drink. Yasha can be a Chad in a digital simulation. Very sad.
In the show, Vegeta literally kills Yamcha and steals Bulma for him. Oof. So he becomes a multi-millionaire and has 2 kids. Ouch, poor Yamcha.
I have very little interest in Dragon Ball. Okay, Dragon Ball, the original series, I kind of have an interest in. I watched a little bit when I was younger, but I didn't watch all of it. I did kind of like the original Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z onwards, I kind of just like, you know. But that's just me. I know that's an unpopular opinion. But
that character is the question mark itself. Oh shit! He cracked the code.
Yes.
Damn it. It was going to be our Mr. Game & Watch representative.
One thing I would like to do, and I think we are actually going to do it because we're probably going to take some time off. And considering we're going to actually start documenting things in the next update, that's another discussion point I wanted to talk about. Documentation. Someone brought that up in the Discord. We do have somebody who wants to help with documentation, and that's a focus of the next update. We have considered the idea of setting up a website to list all the documentation on and making the website like a sort of community ran thing. That way, like, people can go in and change things and edit it, and if like Unreal changes and people update the project to newer versions of Unreal, or maybe in the future someone else decides to take Infinity Plus and expand on it something else, then you know the website could be expanded upon as well. That's something we have considered doing. I don't know if we will do that. That's not like a guarantee. And if we do end up doing something like that, we might need help with it. But that is where we're at with documentation. We had somebody say they wanted to help us. I need to talk to them about it personally first. to make sure they will, like, say, oh yeah, I want to join and help, and then like join and not talk to us for like 10 weeks. But I think that's a position I'm going to be opening and accepting applications for, because we need to start doing that. That's the thing that we need to actually start focusing on. And as soon as we get this update released and out publicly, we can start working on that, because all the changes we're going to be doing from here on out, other than like things related to the HUD and some minor tweaks and adjustments, what we have now, structurally speaking, will probably end up, for the most part, staying unchanged. In terms of structurally speaking, there might be actual things inside of it that has changed, but how it will change will probably not, or how it will work will probably not change. So everyone talks about Dragon Ball, but where's Dragon Cock? Where's the Dragon Cock? Heading out? Alright, well, thank you for stopping by, Azurio.
Oh, bye-bye. He just had to leave us on that cliffhanger of a statement here.
He couldn't handle the Dragon Cock.
Never do that again, please.
What's the matter, Otacon? Don't you know how to handle the Dragon Cock?
I will fire you, and then fire myself.
I will kill you, and then I'll kill you again.
It's essentially the same energy.
So, yeah.
Plus pack characters, they're a thing. Plus pack vote will be a thing.
Documentation will begin once this update is out.
Oh yeah, documentation was the other thing.
Because with documentation comes the need. Why do we have noise cancellation in the background? Are you trying to get a record deal? I have noise cancellation because I live in an apartment. To avoid making loud, like, large amounts of sound and annoy our neighbors.
Are you trying to get a record deal?
That's why we have cancelers. And if you've seen my back wall, you will know that they have done a terrible job of staying up on the wall.
Yeah, half of them are missing right now, dude. You should probably
half
check that.
More like 95% of them are missing. But we're probably not going to put them back up because we're hoping to move sometime soon.
I see.
In
Where
which
to
case,
this time?
Probably just a different apartment complex. Bye.
I see.
But that won't happen until like next year.
That's not British enough.
But
not very Queen of England of you.
Excellent. We need to change some of these. We also need to change the need to change a lot of the text that's sitting around.
Yep. So if it still says Christmas demo, I believe.
They also block noise from your neighbor's end. That wall, our next door neighbors on that side actually are extremely quiet. So we don't hardly ever hear anything from them. I do hear noise from neighbors on that side. And we do hear things from neighbors upstairs. Not as much anymore. They're a lot quieter than they used to be. But it's not that bad. It's usually never at night. It's always during the day. So it doesn't really bother me too much. I suppose one thing I could do is I could show off Sonic's path on the debug room real quick.
But could you, though?
It's because everyone already knows what Sonic's path looks like.
This is where it loads into Tails' path.
Did. But I expected it to, so that didn't count.
What are you, Eggman? I was expecting not to expect something, so that didn't count.
So here's the aesthetic of the new debug room. We don't have any song yet. I think we would do it. What was it? A Cybertrack? Advanced 3?
Yeah, Cybertrack.
Bothers me. Ah.
Ouch.
Yep, so we've got speed, power, and flight here. Everyone's seen the speed before, so go down the speed path.
Beep.
Just like before, anytime you defeat enemies, the doors will open. And I put supersonic boost and generator. And a straight line. We don't know about that one. By the way, if you're gonna ask a question, the technical, grammatically correct of saying it is "are you," not "you are." So if you're asking a question, you would say, "Are you going to do something?" Because if you say "you are going to do something," it just sounds like you're telling us to do it, which is impolite. That needs to be fixed too.
Finding all the little spike lines.
Which is weird because I took like an entire day to go through and like fix these. Either they didn't save, or
you didn't do good enough.
Good enough. All of the enemies in Sonic's route will now respawn. One thing, I'm not gonna really spoil anything, save for this one thing with Tails and Knuckles' route. Tails and Knuckles' combat route will have one room designated for practicing, where all of the enemies in it respawn infinitely. Like, you don't actually have to defeat the enemies to move on, you just have to hit a switch, and then continue on. So, we have designated a room for practicing. We did not do that for Sonic, because we didn't think of that back when we designed Sonic's room, and we are not going to be changing Sonic's room, structurally speaking. So all of the enemies in Sonic's tutorial room infinitely respawn, like so. So you can practice Sonic stuff as frequently as you want. That was incorrect. Why did you get knocked that way?
Oh, you missed.
I did miss because I'm not used to using the homing spike with this new gravity. All these enemies are not supposed to be making sound. I thought I fixed that. And then there's the ending room, which has been changed slightly. Makes it a little bit bigger. I'm not going to hit any of the... Although... Where are the hint rings? The hint rings were there, weren't they? Or did I just bypass them all?
Yeah, they were there. You just bypassed all of them.
I must have done that instinctively because I don't remember doing that. So...
Well done.
You just got a sneak peek of the visuals. None of the enemies there are... the proper levels are set up. That's probably something I'm going to do. Later on today after the stream, I'm going to go through all of the enemies in this room and fix them up so that way they're not all just one-hit enemies. Some of them take multiple hits, or some of them have shields or stuff like that. So once that's done, all that will be left in the debug room will be, or not the debug, the combat tutorial room will be some adjustments to the hint rings, which still need to be done. The hint rings are going to have hypertext on them, similar to these here. So that way, anytime it says, hey, press the jump button, or hey, press the action button, or the drift button, it'll actually show you the key, instead of just leaving you, like, trying to figure out which button that is. It says, like, hey, press the action button, it'll show you the X button on controller, or the shift button on keyboard mouse.
Oh boy.
Or if it says press the jump button, it'll say show A. It says press drift, it'll say left trigger. You know,
Yeah.
So those are things that are all going to be done in the hint room rings. Where are the rings? I probably will end up putting a few 10 ring boxes around. Just to like give people some extra rings. But all the rings are sitting there in the beginning. You grab a set of rings there in the beginning. None of the enemies... That's not true. None of the enemies in Sonic's path are told to attack you. So you can technically fight them without fear of being attacked. But other than that, the other two paths will probably need rings. Because if you do end up getting hit, then you need to be able to replenish rings. Why is Tails on? Remove him or all will be lost. I don't know why Tails Doll is still in here. Why is Tails Doll still in here, Reese?
I don't know, that's a you thing.
I didn't put Tails Doll in here, you did.
I didn't put Tails Doll there.
Maybe Tails Doll put Tails Doll here.
Oh no.
Seriously, I didn't put Tails Doll here. I thought you did that.
I don't remember doing that. Again, though, I have a memory of a goldfish.
Actually, hold on. I remember right what I can do. Alt S. He doesn't like to be moved.
He doesn't like to be moved. His physics are all whack. That's nasty.
Alright, we're at the 2-hour mark about 7 minutes ago, so if anyone has any other questions or concerns or just comments, you can share them now. We're hoping to get done. This has been cleansed. Tails Doll's still in. He has attached himself to Tails.
Oh no.
The we're getting close for the release. I guess to do one final recap. Shields and projectile guns are almost ready on the enemies. Knuckles' code has been moved to the power parent, so it's almost ready. Still some patching to be done. We gotta remove assets we're not ready to release first, and then we start patching some more things. And once all of that is done and ready, and we get our trailer ready, we will be ready to release. So that is a very, very, very quick rundown of thing.
Yep.
Behind you. Well, if Tails Doll is behind me, he better finish the job quickly.
But what if it was British Tails Doll?
What if it was British Tails Doll? Well, if nobody else has any questions or concerns or, stuff, we can probably get ready to call it good. Make a level, but not at the same time. Test City Act 1.
Test City.
Test City. I might stream again later on tonight. As soon as we close up the dev stream here, I'm going to do some more project work. Get some more things ready and set up. But once I'm done with that for the day, I might stream around tonight. I want to stream a different game. I'm thinking of doing either Mario RPG, SNES, or I might do Donkey Kong Country. Because I've not beaten neither of those games. I've played Donkey Kong Country before. I've never beaten it, though. And I've never even played Super Mario RPG.
How about you play Doty Doty Literature Club on stream? Oh.
I want to play a game that I can beat within this week, so I can have a game to play on stream before I go on vacation. Well,
Well, Genshin Impact is your game for that. You get that beat within a week.
no. We're gonna call it good here. Thanks for everybody who joined in. Like God, I'm already doing that with Infinity Plus. I think since there's a good chunk of us, I think I'm gonna raid a friend of mine, Needy. They're currently playing Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. So, let's see here. Thank you for everybody who joined in, and we will see everybody next time. Well, I won't, because I'm not going to be here on the 7th of next month. No. So, until then, we'll see everybody, or Reese and Emmanuel will see everybody next time.
Bye-bye. If Emmanuel's here. Shaboom.
Oh yeah, my fingies, they're okay now.
Yo, Fizz, let's go. Hey, can you shout out Fizz for me, please?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. Thank you for the raid, Fizz. How was the dev stream?
It was shit.